What's up, everybody? This is Danielson. Well, yesterday was Thanksgiving, and I had a blast by myself. Um, Today is Black Friday, the day after Thanksgiving, and I had a blast today. I had the last 2 days off. As a matter of fact, I had yesterday off, Thanksgiving off, but I actually volunteered to go in for a few hours. But the majority of the last 48 hours I've been spending by myself, and I've been watching a ton of other fragrance reviewers, and I've been like hanging out in some of the fragrance Facebook groups and talking about fragrances, and I've just been having a blast. It's been such a great couple of days for me. It really has. Um, and I'm finally getting to it. Burberry London. I told y'all to be patient, and I had so many reviews to do, and I still have so many reviews to do. I am so backed up. I have like 6 reviews that I need to do back to back to get like caught up with everything. So give me time. I have so many fragrances to talk about and not enough time to do them. But today I'm going to talk about London by Burberry. But I wanted to say 2 little things real quick, or I'll try to be quick first. A lot of y'all already know that I have a fragrance Facebook group. It is called The Beauty and Art of Fragrances. Most of y'all already know or already are joined. But the ones who do not know that would like to check us out, I will put the link in the description if you want to check us out. It's a no drama fragrance Facebook group, so we will not tolerate any kind of like drama. There's no selling, no swapping. It's just like a little fragrance family that talks about fragrances. That's basically it. So I'll put the link to that Facebook group in the description. So if you want to check us out, you're more than welcome to come and join us. Another thing that I wanted to talk about real quick is a lot of people do not, a lot of people are not like this, but there's a few, especially in some of the fragrance Facebook groups, that I've been reading a lot of their comments about. There was one in particular about how disappointed this particular individual is with the fragrance reviewing community, about how it's not the same, and all the fragrance reviewers are boring, and they only do like, everybody only does like top 10s and top 5s, and a couple of people have mentioned that they think that all fragrance reviewers are like only do fragrance reviews to get like free bottles or subscribers or money and stuff like that. And I actually do not comment on their post when somebody says something like that, because I'm a big believer on free speech. And so if somebody says that, I don't go on their post and comment saying you're wrong, you know, and I just leave them alone and let them have their own opinion, because that's just the right thing to do. I think everybody should have their own opinion about things, but I'm entitled to have my own opinion on my own channel too, or my own personal Facebook page. My opinion about fragrance reviewers and fragrance bloggers are, now a lot of people are going, I think a lot of people are going to think I'm naive about this, and I am not. But hear me out. I know a lot of fragrance reviewers, especially YouTube fragrance reviewers. There is not one that I distrust, not one, and there's no reason for me to think that. It's just like innocent until proven guilty, I guess, if that's an analogy. But there's not one that I distrust, not one, because there's no need for me to think anybody's being deceitful or untrustworthy. I think everybody has their own way of doing fragrance reviews. I have my own way. John Doe has his own way. But as far as like a lot of people say that the fragrance reviewing community is boring because everybody does exactly the same thing. All fragrance reviewers only do like top 10 and top 5s, and they talk about the same fragrances. I disagree with that so much. We have more fragrance reviewers in the fragrance community more than ever before. We're constantly having new fragrance reviewers come out. Thank goodness. I've been like pushing for that for a long time. I'm trying to encourage people to start doing this. And there's so many different personalities, and there's so many people that have their own style and their own way of doing fragrance reviews. I have my own way, completely different from some of the other guys. I actually spend a lot of time trying to come up with different ideas and different things to talk about, and try to do things a little bit different than everybody else. And there's a lot of people that do not do top 10s and top 5s. I don't really do them. Occasionally I do like a top 5 every once in a while. But there's actually nothing wrong with top 10 and top 5s, because that's what the majority of people watching fragrance YouTubers, that's what they want to see. But I disagree with, all fragrance reviewers do it because they want free bottles or money or subscribers and all this stuff. And my opinion to people that really think that is, start looking around. There is tons of people that are so trustworthy and do things so much differently than the mainstream fragrance reviewer. For me, example, I like come up with all different kinds of things all the time, just trying to be unique and do different things. And if you asked everybody, who's your favorite fragrance reviewer, ask people and start looking around. And if you still think we're all dishonest and we have some kind of like certain reason for doing this as far as like getting money or subscribers or something, maybe start your own channel and start doing fragrance reviews yourself and shows how it's done. But that's my opinion. There's not one fragrance reviewer I distrust. I trust all of them. I really do. I'm not just saying that. There's no reason for me to distrust anybody out there. But anyway, that's enough about that. I've shared my opinion about things. So on to my review. London Burberry, come out in 2009. The perfumer is Antoine Maison Dieu. I won't go into detail about all the fragrances that he has done. I'll put a link to the fragrances that he has done in the description. I want y'all to check him out. He's actually one of my all-time favorite perfumers. Him, Natalie Larson, and Terry Wasser are in my top 5 perfumers of all time. He has done some amazing fragrances and amazing art. That's what I like to call perfumery, is art. The dude is amazing, so check him out. The link will be in the description. The notes to this are, the top notes is bergamot, lavender, and warm cinnamon. The heart notes is mimosa flower, sweet myrrh, and leather. Synthetic leather. There's like no real leather in here. The base notes is Palo Santo, tobacco leaves, and oak moss. Now, I've watched many reviewers do a review on this. And the majority of fragrance reviewers that talk about this sort of say the same thing in a way, that this is Christmas in a bottle, and that everybody gives this like a big thumbs up. So most of the reviews are the same as far as this goes. Um, and I'm going to be another one. I think this is sort of like fall, winter, and Christmas all wrapped up in a bottle. The reason I think that, there's a lot of these notes that I really don't get much of, like I don't get a lot of lavender, but I'll tell you what I do get, and I'm not going to go into detail about the development of this. The opening through the mid is basically, it smells like Christmas to me. When I first sprayed this, and every time I do wear this, it takes me back. It's like I'm transported back to when I was a little kid, on Christmas morning. It smells the spices that they use in here and how they blend it, and the other notes that give it sort of like a Christmas tree type smell. Along with those spices, it smells like Christmas Day to me. Now, as far as like the notes, there is no pine or fir in here, but the notes create an accord that smells like, it smells like spices and a Christmas tree. And but I actually get more of, it's almost like a combination of like mint and like a peppermint, menthol, and like pine and fir sort of all combined together. And with that cinnamon and those spices that I get in here, it just smells like, it smells like Christmas Day to me. And I love it. And that's actually basically what the opening all the way through the mid is. Now, in the dry down, those spices and that pine sort of like subside a bit. And the dry down to me is more like a oriental vanilla. It's more like a creamy sandalwood vanilla, cinnamon, nutmeg type of spicy oriental. But no matter what stage it is in and all the development that this goes through the life of the fragrance, it smells like Christmas. And it smells beautiful. It's very warm and it's very inviting. And the quality is actually really good considering the price, which I'll get to in just a second. But everybody is right. There's very few times that I agree with other fragrance reviewers, because a lot of times I'll have an opinion on a fragrance and everybody else has a completely different opinion, and vice versa. I hardly ever agree with the majority of fragrance reviewers, but this one, I agree with all the fragrance reviewers on this one. Christmas in a bottle, fall in a bottle, beautiful Christmas tree, spicy cinnamon, vanilla type of fragrance, and it makes me feel good. Like I said, it transports me back to when I was a little kid on Christmas Day, and I love it. I love this fragrance, and I'm so glad I got it. I really am. And this was actually a blind buy for me, and there's very few people that are pro blind buy. I am. Of course, there has been blind buys that I sort of regret, but the majority of blind buys that I've ever done, I love. I love fragrances. There's very few fragrances that I hate, even though I've done some pretty negative reviews. But the majority of fragrances I really love. And as far as my favorite, like Christmas time type of fragrance, this would have to be now. This is my first winter and first Christmas with this. I've only had this for a couple of months, a few months, maybe like 4 or 5 months. This will be in my top 5 like winter Christmas fragrance. I actually probably will be wearing this Christmas Day or Christmas Eve. But I highly, highly, highly recommend this. It's beautiful. It makes you feel good. It's very comforting. It's very warm. If I smelled this on a person, I would want to actually get close to them, and that might be a little bit like creepy, me going up to somebody and, you know, that might be a little bit creepy, but that's what I would, it would, it would attract me to a person. If I smelled somebody wearing this, I would be like wanting to go sniff them. I might get arrested, but at least I would like get a good whiff. Anyway, that is it for my review. And if you're interested in this, which I hope you are, 100 mil regular with the cap and box and everything, full presentation is $38, which is fabtabulous. A tester without the cap and without the box is $28. That's what I have. That's the reason I don't have a cap. And a 1 ounce is $20. So I would suggest at least getting like a 100 mil tester. But even the presentation is it's warm, it's inviting, it's comforting. It's like a cloth. It's actually cloth. The bottle is wrapped up in cloth, and it's sort of like a, what is this pattern called? Flannel, sort of. But even the bottle is like, it feels good. It's really nice, soft cloth. Atomizer's excellent. The fragrance side's excellent. So, yeah, please get it. Just check it out. If you don't want to buy like a 1 ounce, get a sample from somebody or something and just try it. I guarantee if you try it, you'll probably want to buy a whole bottle. Anyway, all the links will be in the description. So I love you guys, and I know this is running really long, but there's a lot of things that I had to say or wanted to say. So anyways, I'm getting ready to do another review, which I'll post in a couple of days. But it is going to be on Tom Ford. It is called Noir by Tom Ford. It's like a dark rose. Noir. That's actually hard for me to say. Anyway, stay tuned for this, and I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.